I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to Ozark City Hall. We're glad you're here for the Board of Aldermen meeting and engaging with your elected officials. Listening to perspectives of city residents, business owners, and other community members helps our elected leaders make more informed decisions. Before the meeting begins, let's review our rules of order. These ensure the meeting is orderly and efficient while allowing everyone who would like to speak an opportunity to do so. There are two opportunities for you to speak: during the agenda's scheduled visitor and guest portion of the meeting and during public discussion of new bills and resolutions. During the agenda's scheduled visitor and guest portion, anyone who signed up at the city clerk's office before 5 p.m. the Wednesday before the meeting can speak to aldermen about the topic they specified. Now, in the public discussion of new bills and resolutions, that allows you to give comments for aldermen to consider before they make a decision. Anytime anyone is speaking, the following rules apply. First, only one person should speak at a time. Please be respectful of the person speaking and hold your comments until it's your turn. Second, anyone speaking must do so from the podium and speak into the microphone. Third, you must first provide your name and address in writing to the city clerk before beginning your comments. These forms are provided near the entrance. You also must state your name and address to the Board of Aldermen using the podium microphone. Fourth, all comments should be addressed to the mayor and aldermen. Finally, all speakers have 5 minutes. A digital timer will show you the countdown. The light will change from green to flashing yellow when 2 minutes are left. It will stay yellow at the 1 minute mark. Your comment time is up when the light turns red. The mayor or alderman may have additional questions for speakers after this time limit. Occasionally, the board will invite someone to make a presentation at the meeting. This is only to give information to the board about a specific topic. These presenters will have no time limit on giving their information. This meeting will be live streamed and recorded with video and audio unless there are technical difficulties. The use of cell phones or other devices is discouraged during the meeting. Please silence your phones right now. Again, thank you for being here and engaging with the City of Ozark. The meeting will begin shortly.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Aiken is absent. Alderman Campbell.
Here.
Alderman Galloway.
Here.
Alderman Hutchinson.
Here.
Alderman Metcalf.
Here.
Alderman Steiner.
Here.
We have 5 aldermen present. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we'll begin with the minutes from the September 16th regular meeting. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the regular meeting on September 16th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor to voting on the motion to approve the September 16th minutes, do so by show of hands. Okay, and that does carry. Now, September 19th, 2024 is our breakfast session. Any questions about the minutes? Or
Your Honor, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the meeting of September 19th, 2024, non-legislative session.
okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, the motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Hutchinson, on approving the September 19th breakfast session minutes. All in favor of voting on the motion to approve the September 19th minutes, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
Abstain. I wasn't here.
Oh, okay, so we had, City Clerk, you did get that. We had 4 and 1 abstain. Okay, thank you, sir. We have no ceremonial matters or visitors, so we're going to go to our first reading and resolutions. So we're going to begin first with bill number 3599.
Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3599 on its first reading by title only.
Okay, is there a second to this?
Second.
Okay, the motion is that we place bill number 3599 on its first reading by title only, made by, I know, it's okay, you already made the motion, so we'll go with it.
Do we need to make a correction on that though?
Because it said in the minutes, it was brother, I'm sorry, Alderman Bruce Galloway. So we probably should follow the agenda. So can he, what? can you rescind his motion?
Your Honor, I'd like to rescind my motion on placing that bill on its first reading.
Is that proper procedure?
3599.
That's fine. And then you also rescind yours, and we'll start over again. Okay, so we're gonna place bill number 3599 on its first reading by title only. And so we need a motion.
Your Honor, this is Bruce Galloway, and I move that we place bill number 3599 on its first reading by title only.
And second.
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay, the motion is made that we, the first reading of bill number 3599 on first reading by title only, made by Alderman Galloway, second by Alderman Metcalf. All in favor of voting on this motion to discuss bill number 3599, do so by show of hands, and that does carry.
An ordinance authorizing the city to engage the legal services of Gilmore and Bell PC. I'd be happy to introduce this bill and give the background.
Yes,
The
please.
city is interested in engaging the services of Gilmore and Bell. We have used their services in the past for bond refinancing, and now we are interested in expanding those services to include economic development services. Economic development includes working with developers who are interested in receiving different economic development statute incentives, such as a community improvement district, a transportation development district, or Chapter 353 tax abatement. And we would like to engage the legal services of this law firm to help us with those legal paperwork and documents that are needed to enter into that agreement with the developer. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions, or if our city administrator has anything to add, I'll turn it over to him.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd just like to go on record and indicate that I have worked with Gilmore and Bell in previous capacity. They are a fabulous firm. They do really great work, and they will be representing us and working on our behalf to make our strong team even stronger. So we really appreciate the support and consideration of the aldermen.
Now, my understanding is I read that as for the funding, this will come from the developers, or?
That is correct. The funding to support any expenses related to Gilmore and Bell would come from the developer / applicant.
Not the citizens, okay. Any questions from the board? Yes,
Just a quick question. Are those incentives not sometimes used for land that the city wants to see developed, but there's not a developer in hand?
Sorry, I may not understand the question.
Probably I'm not stating it too clearly. Okay, if the city had land that it wanted to see developed, such as the LCRA land, but there's not a developer in hand, and we wanted to go ahead and get those incentives in place so that we could entice a developer to come, is that not the case sometimes? And then the city would be underwriting the cost of use?
That is correct. We would then be absorbing those costs, and we would be paying for those services.
Okay, but that would have to be city land. Otherwise, it would be land that's owned by a private person, and they could pay for that to get someone to take their land, or a developer who comes in.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Anyone else regarding this? Okay, I am not seeing any movement. Since this is our first reading, is anyone here who will speak for bill number 3599? Okay, I'm not seeing any movement. Anyone here who wants to speak against bill number 3599? Okay, again, I see no movement, so I'm going to close this at this time to the public. Any final board responses or questions? Okay, we'll hold now bill number 3599 will be held to a future meeting. We're now going to move to bill number 3600.
Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3600 on its first reading by title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. The motion is to place bill number 3600 on its first reading by title only. Motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting to discuss bill number 3600, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
An ordinance adopting an updated major thoroughfare plan.
Okay, we'll have Director Jeremy Parson come speak to us.
Yes, good evening. Pull this up for us real quick. Thank you, Neil. All right, well, one of the pieces of, oh, am I? There you go. Is that better? All right. One of the pieces of property that we're working on right now that's kind of an economic development piece of land just to the north of Walmart. We refer to that as the Warren property. We've been working with developers on that, and that's how this all came about. That's why I wanted to bring that to your attention. Of course, as you know, the major thoroughfare plan, we work with our partners at the Ozark Transportation Organization to identify not just existing roads, but future roads. I'll kind of zoom in because that other one's a little busy. The Ozark area is identified there. And what we try to do is stay on the same page. That way we're all singing from the same hymnal. When developers or land is looking to be developed, it allows us certain standards or guidelines to go in and say, okay, this street is classified as a secondary arterial or as a collector. And those rules then apply for right-of-way dedication. So in this case, we noticed that there was a small discrepancy. And we're specifically focusing on the property by the Warren property across from Walmart there, and then 17th Street that goes down by Walgreens. Originally, they had that shown, and this is the original map, had that shown as a primary arterial. And to give you an example of a primary arterial, Highway NN or Highway 14 is a primary arterial. And after speaking with our fellow transportation planners and the OTO, we recognize that that area or that section of 17th as it continues to the south is most likely to be a secondary arterial. So we, on our major thoroughfare plan, already identified that as a secondary arterial. So we're trying to get things to match here. We want the OTO plan and our plan to be cohesive and to work well with one another. We've had a lot of interest in that area along 17th. You've seen a lot of development. As we've had that development, we've captured the appropriate right-of-way for a secondary arterial, and we just feel like it's a better fit. I want you to know that OTO has already made this change. They went through their board. We went through the process. The Transportation Committee, all of us recommended this for approval. It's been changed. So we're simply talking about changing a section from a primary arterial to a secondary arterial. And that fits better with the type of development that's occurring over there, the traffic counts, and also the existing topography and kind of some of the limitations that we have there with the built environment that's already there. So we feel like this is a much better fit. And again, we want to be on the same page with the OTO. So with that, yes.
Yes, Campbell.
So I understand the current OTO and I understand the proposed change. What's the middle section, or am I missing something?
Yeah, so that was our existing map that showed a small section of secondary. And it just didn't make sense to go from primary to secondary. It was not planned that way. I'll just be 100% open. That was a GIS error, but nonetheless, we need to correct that error.
Gotcha. Yes, Alderman Hutcherson.
So can you tell me in practical terms the difference between primary and secondary?
Yeah, so basically it comes down to more lanes of traffic on a primary. You have 110 feet of right-of-way as opposed to 80 feet of right-of-way on a secondary arterial. A secondary actually allows you to have different spacing for driveways as well. A primary pushes you out further and further, and rightly so. So you have more controlled access on an arterial as opposed to a secondary.
Is that still in the plan, a proposed bridge?
Yes.
That will be expanded, so NN will just really continue all the way through there and all the way across?
That's in our long-range plan. So everything that you see in the dashed area is a proposed roadway. Now that may be 5 years from now, it may be 25 years from now. It really comes down to funding and how development occurs. But we do feel like extending in further to the south over the river would be another great crossing. Although we don't want to make the mistake that other communities have made and try to deter people from coming downtown. So we've got to be very mindful of that.
So I guess because the topography, because so much of it would be in the floodplain, that it will never probably develop along there like NN has. So that makes the difference in how it's designated to just the potential development.
Absolutely. Yeah, that entire floodplain that runs down the valley there. And then you know the steep grade that you've got going up the hill there. And then you've got an established signalized intersection at 17th there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board for Director Jeremy? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Thank you, sir. Since this is the first reading, I'm going to open this up to the public. Is anyone here who will speak for bill number 3600? Okay. I'm not seeing movement. Anyone here who will speak against bill number 3600? Okay, now I'm going to close this now to the public comments. One last time from the board. Any comments? Okay, I'm not seeing any. So bill number 3600 will be held for a future meeting. We'll turn to bill number 3601.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3601 on its first reading by title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay. The motion is to place bill number 3601 on its first reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on this motion to discuss bill number 3601, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into a contract with Darrell Mortec Construction Incorporated for pavement and construction services related to the 2024 street improvement plan.
And we'll welcome back Director Jeremy Parson.
All right, so I'm going to move on to this next slide here. And this is, as you said, the 2024 improvements. As you know, we've developed a 5-year plan with IMS and our pavement condition index, and we identify all these roads that need some sort of rehab. And I want to stress that there's multiple forms of rehab. We just finished up the last packet. This coming packet was kind of designed to hold back a little bit because of the Finley Crossing development that is occurring up on the hill here. Basically, if you go up 9th, you'll see the large area of land that's disturbed there. And I'll show some better slides here in a second. But the base bid is that 11th Street area, and that's the street that we're really concerned about, especially with the additional traffic over there. Again, that was already on the plan, so we held back a little bit, being primarily used as a construction entrance right now. It is in bad shape. It will be in worse shape before it gets better, but that's the timing of all this. Alt 1 is a lot of microsurfacing. You see the green areas identified there, 3rd Street, the next section of Walnut, a lot of those smaller streets in our downtown area. We're really happy with the microsurfacing. It's not an overlay, but what it is about 1/4 of the cost of an overlay. And that buys us time with those streets and keeps that weather out. So it has been a lifesaver for some of our streets. And then Alt 2, we just finished up a bunch of work on Lark, kind of down by the Inez Trail area. That street has been beat up quite a bit as well. We'd like to put the icing on the cake there and just make that a nice, smooth street. And that can be accomplished with an overlay. So this has been an interesting bid tab, or a bid. We actually had to go out for it twice. I just want to reemphasize, ooh, that's a colorful map. I want to reemphasize that this was in our rehab year. That little area you can see was 2023. Plans changed because of the development. We pushed it off 1 year because we didn't want to fix a road that is then beat up by construction traffic. So wanted you to see that, wanted to show you some of the existing conditions. That road is in desperate need of repair. So that's the actual subdivision that you're seeing built up on the hill just to the west of Finley Cottages and Woodcrest there. And that is the section of roadway that we identified for those new homes that really needs to be addressed. It's a combination. Well, listen, we can't go in there and just rip and roll. You've got a lot of existing conditions that kind of tighten up that roadway. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing by any means. It's an established neighborhood. There'll be another neighborhood in there. So some of the, the homes are right up against right of way. We're doing the best we can with what we've got there. But you see all those different shades on there. That just means there'll be a lot of work structurally. There'll be some curb and gutter added. There'll be multiple things added to that road to get it up to the standard that we feel will provide a good street for decades to come. Let's see, the bidding process was unique. We went out for bid originally back in August. We only received one bid. We felt like we always like to have more than one bid. And I'll tell you the problem. They all told me what the problem was with this. The contractor said this is such a small bid. It's just kind of in that in-between land where nobody was really overly interested. So we went back out for bid, and we got a better bid on the base bid packet. We received 2 bids. I will tell you that one of the bidders didn't complete all their bid work. So we're left with one qualified bidder. It is someone that we're very familiar with. It's somebody that's done a lot of work for the city, and it has taken longer than we thought. That is why once we get through this and we talk through the specifics, we would like to expedite this bill tonight if you also choose. I'd like to get rocking and rolling while we've got some good weather and try to get that street in before winter hits. But yeah, this has been identified, and then we'll talk a little bit more on the next bill because there's some good things that we can do with this street as well from a cost share perspective.
Question. So the first bid was like 130,000?
Yes, 131 on the base bid. I'm just showing you the original base bid, and then the next one was 105.5 on the base bid.
Why such a difference?
I really don't know. We felt like if you look at our engineered estimates in the bid tab, that it was probably more around $90,000. So that's why we weren't happy with it to begin with. I think it's such a hodgepodge. I know that's a real technical term there, but it's just a combination of structural repairs and curb and gutter, and it's not a straight reconstruction. And I think there's a lot of variables in this bid packet that can make contractors wobble a little bit on their pricing.
I know Alderman Hutchinson was first, and then.
Wasn't 11th Street one of the things that developer had to work on, provide some better access and spend some money to make?
That's
because
correct.
his development would be feeding into it.
Yes, ma'am. And that'll be the next bill that we present to you to talk about that. But this is an excellent opportunity for a public-private partnership.
Okay. Yes, Alderman Campbell, sir.
Just out of curiosity, really, the bidder that bid on the first package, did you get any feedback from him on why he didn't bid on the second package?
Well, there was a reason for that too. And not just the size of the project, but Flat Creek Excavating is also the developer that's doing the subdivision over there. And as I think that we wanted a degree of separation from that developer and this next project. I think that made everyone feel more comfortable, worried about a conflict of interest there. So we really needed to go back out for bid.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Questions for Director Jeremy? Okay. I'm not seeing any. Okay, thank you, sir. Again, this is first reading, and so open this up to the public. Anyone here who would speak for bill number 3601? I'm not seeing movement. So is anyone here who wants to speak against bill number 3601? Again, I see no movement, so I'm going to close this to public comment now. If I understand you correctly, Director Parson, you made a request that this would be expedited tonight? Okay.
So in light of that, Your Honor, I do make a motion that we place bill number 3601 on its second reading by title only.
Is there a second to this?
Second.
Okay, the motion is that we place bill number 3601 on second reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second Alderman Hutchinson. All in favor on this motion to discuss bill 3601 for second reading, do so by show of hands, and that does carry.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into a contract with Darrell Mortec Construction Incorporated for pavement and construction services related to the 2024 street improvement plan.
Okay. Any additional comments, sir? Okay. Any from the board? I'm not seeing any. Okay.
Okay, Your Honor, I make a motion that we adopt bill number 3601 as ordinance number 24-074.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is that we adopt bill number 3601 as ordinance 24-074. All.
Alderman Aiken is absent. Alderman Snyder,
Aye.
Alderman Campbell,
Aye.
Alderman Galloway,
Aye.
Alderman Hutchinson,
Aye.
Alderman Metcalf.
Aye.
We have 5 aye votes, motion carries.
Okay, I was just making a note. Okay, now we're going to move on now to bill number 3602.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3602 on its first reading by title only.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is to place bill 3602 on its first reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on this motion to discuss bill 3602, we do so by show of hands, and that does carry.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into a developer cost share agreement with Flat Creek Excavating LLC for improvements to 11th Street from Oak Street to Robertson Street.
And we'll welcome back Director Jeremy Parson.
And these next slides just go a little, it's a very straightforward agreement with Flat Creek Excavating. You're okay, and we'll find it. There it is. So again, an excellent opportunity to enter into a public-private partnership. They're developing over in that area. We identified the need well before they came into the area. We've been working with their consultants to make sure that all of our engineering matches up. Let me go back to this slide so you can kind of see, and I'll point out a few things here. You can see that northern ingress egress that goes along 11th. The area that you see in the red is the area that we're specifically speaking about. The developer is already responsible for this section in front of the apartments here. We're just entering into a cost share for that section that we showed the plan on. And again, pretty simple, straightforward, but we felt like it was a good opportunity to get in there and implement a cost share agreement with them because we both need it is really what it comes down to. $105,000, $105,500, I should say, 50-50, $52,000. And just so you know, in the contract, it speaks about overruns and underruns. Those are to be split 50-50 as well.
Okay. Any questions for Director Parson? Yes, Alderman Campbell.
Is there any percentage or maximum on overruns and underruns or just in the contract?
Yeah, just in the contract.
I think this is going to be a tough one to, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of little pieces to me. I think it's going to be tough to manage.
There is a lot. You're right. And when I said hodgepodge, I mean it. But at the same time, I feel like we're going to get a good street out of this. I will say too that when working with the developer, we'll get those structural repairs, curb and gutter, and all those things in place. And then our plan is to top coat the entire development at one time. So that way, that wear course on the top will be kind of like the icing on the cake. And any damage or anything that's done during construction will be mitigated and it will look sharp.
Yes, sir.
They may already be doing it. Whoops, that sounded loud. They may already be doing it. But at what point will they be able to stop using 11th Street as a construction entrance and actually use the streets? Well, I was going to say the streets to the west, but that actually goes across Good.
Yeah.
That goes through the subdivision that's already out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, we are right
So-
now insisting that they use 11th
Yeah.
because of the condition it's in. And like I said, we can do those structural repairs and whatnot and get it in good shape for construction traffic. It'll be a lot of coordination. The good thing about that stretch of road is it's basically the apartments and then construction workers for now. But coordination and then putting that top coat on, and then we'll encourage them to use both entrances.
Okay.
Because that would be, we're talking about Petalbrook Street.
I'm sorry.
Is that Petalbrook Street we're talking about going to phase one?
Yes, yeah. Pebblebrook is the main east-west connector there.
Any other questions for Director Parson?
And I just want to make it clear, I'm not asking that we expedite this tonight. Please think about it. The only reason I wanted to expedite the other bill was so that we can get all of our admin, the notice to proceed, get things ordered, get that 2-week advantage on the weather while we've got good weather. And this one we'll revisit again at the next Board of Aldermen meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir. Again, this is first reading, so I'm going to open this to public comments. Is anyone here who would speak for Bill number 3602? Okay, I'm not seeing movement, so anyone here who would speak against Bill number 3602? Okay, I'm going to at this time close this to public comment. Final board response. Any questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so therefore, Bill number 3602 will be held for a future meeting. Now we'll move on to Bill number 3603.
Your Honor, I move that we place Bill number 3603 on its first reading by title only.
Okay, the motion is to place Bill number 3603 on its first reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf and seconded by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss Bill 3603, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
An ordinance authorizing the city to purchase materials related to water main improvements.
Okay. And we'll welcome back Director Parson.
Just all over the city trying to get stuff done. This is a great project that we identified in our water master plan, our water facility master plan. Some of you are probably already familiarizing yourself with the map, but the portion up there kind of in the center and upper right, the northeast quadrant, that's Waterford area, Rivers, River Point. We talk a lot through the planning process of, having these islands, if you will. They're really peninsulas when it comes down to it, but you've got one feeder of water main going in to over 1,000 customers. Our goal in the plan was to create redundancy. And we found that this area around Blue Stem Road, where we've got the Blue Stem Tower, would make for a tremendous opportunity for redundancy. It would obviously help reduce the number of outages. It would allow us to kind of backfeed in certain areas off of Blue Stem Tower, which would provide, again, that alternate source of water. What we're asking for tonight, and this is a pretty basic project, but what we're asking for tonight is to move forward. We want to self-perform. In fact, we are going to self-perform this if you all will let us. The beauty of all that green land is easy digging, theoretically. That's something that our crew can do and save thousands and thousands of dollars. What really pushed this to the forefront was we recently, if this will show up, there it is. We recently, just in the past week, you see those red dashes? That represents the beginning and the end of the primary easement for that water main. That is the Stein easement that has been acquired. It has been recorded, and we only have a couple of easements up in this northeast corner that we're working on. We've received multiple quotes for the materials. The materials are in about the 175 range. What we're asking for is pre-authorization of $200,000 just in case there's any fluctuations. And pipe is like any other commodity. It's a petroleum-based product. You got a Gulf of Mexico that seems pretty active right now. You just don't know. So we think it'll be around 175, but the goal here is to hit the ground running. That easement that we acquired from the Steins is huge. That's over 95% of the land that we need. We've got a couple more easements that we're working on with the HOAs up in that area and a couple of small property owners. And we would like, as soon as those get executed, get recorded, purchase that material and start running. Again, this was approved and for about 290 in the 2024 budget. We found some ways to kind of value engineer this and self-perform it. So we feel like we can do this for under $200,000. So in a nutshell, I've tried to provide some quantities there. I mean, it's a decent sized project. It's over 2,000 linear feet of pipe. But again, it's just in that star in the bottom corner there, that's just representing where Blue Stem Tower is. I wanted you to see how that's fed to the north and over. But this is a good project for the citizens of Ozark. And it just makes us better at what we do. And we're a utility company. And that's our job. So, and it's part of the plan. I love knocking off items on the plan, just checking them off. So.
Okay, any questions for Director Parson? Yes, Campbell?
So when I look at this, I'm seeing it go from the Blue Stem Tower up. It's that drawing there is not really showing. Is it showing going all the way around behind the Stein property?
So this drawing's a little bit better. That yellow line shows it going through the Stein property and going all the way over to Pintail, where we used to have a lift station, but we took that offline as part of the sewer master plan.
Okay.
So this area has been getting a lot of attention because it was a sprawling subdivision. And there was a lot of short-sighted utility decisions that were made in there. And we're trying to, get back in there and make some corrections.
Okay. Okay.
Anyone else? Questions for Director Parson? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Since again, this is the first reading, I'm going to open it down to public comments. Is anyone here who wishes to speak for bill number 3603? I'm not seeing movement, so anyone here speak against bill number 3603? Okay, I'm now going to close this to public comments. Any final response from the board? Not seeing any. Bill number 3603 will be held over for a future meeting. Now we're going to move on to bill number 3604.
Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3604 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
Okay. The motion is to place bill number 3604 on its first reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill number 3604, do by show of hands. And that does carry.
An ordinance adopting Chapter 420, Small and Cave Recharge and Finley River Watershed Protection Ordinance.
And once again, Director Parson.
All right. I'm sure you're tired of me by now, but this has been a long time coming.
Yes.
And it's been an example of collaboration with some of our partners throughout the county and throughout Southwest Missouri. We kind of ran through this on the last non-legislative again. I just want to slide through this and kind of show you the genesis of this had to do with Small and Cave and some concerns that we had up there with development around that. We work closely with the property owners. We work closely with Ozark Underground. We identified some areas of vulnerability that we feel like we can do a better job of protecting those vulnerable areas, specifically the blue line streams and the sinkholes. If you all look at a sinkhole map up there, it looks like it's been shot with a shotgun. I mean, they are just everywhere. But we know those are vulnerable areas. We know that we need to protect those. And then it kind of expanded because this is a unique study. And this is something that not everyone, we just can't go out and constantly find money from DNR. We'll try, don't get me wrong, from DNR and the Missouri Department of Conservation. But it really opened our eyes up and said, hey, you know, if we do some things from a best management practice, there are some proposed design guidelines that we could put in place without creating a whole nother arm of our department and a whole nother arm of government. We're already reviewing these plans. And that's the brilliance of this. And I want to say this before I forget it. This was not just a collaboration with other agencies. This was a staff collaboration. Mrs. Calloway helped us tremendously. I think Cameron's online, so shout out to Cameron and Megan. They were both very involved in this. So it's fun to see staff come together and come up with an idea and implement those. Anyways, sorry about the shout out there. Erosion and sediment control are the primary things here that we're really trying to protect. It really comes down to our natural resource, our most valuable natural resource, which is our waterways. Again, a lot of cooperation here. We identified some other simple things that we can do to help protect these areas. I think it's important to note too that throughout this process, this was not an exercise in trying to eliminate development. This was an exercise in trying to ensure that we have sustainable development and that development doesn't do something counterproductive to our waterways. So it expanded. We're going to start reviewing these things. We're going to get more involved with the land disturbance permits, the SWIP, security deposits, enforcements are in there so that we can go out and make sure that these things are in place. This is it. This is, I believe, I want to say Alderman Galloway, we started this back in February of this year when we really started putting our noses to the grindstone. And it's been a lot of work, but I think we've come up with, and there's our partners in this as well. I think we've come up with something that can be implemented. It's not just fancy words on paper. It's something that we can sit in our offices and make sure that this gets implemented across the board. So, any questions about this first reading?
Now, as for the partnership with Christian County, they're doing their own ordinance at this time. But I know there's been many talking back and forth between the city and the county.
Yeah, and I will let you know, we're really working with them to try to encourage the same triggering mechanisms, if you will. We originally looked at this as possible overlay zoning, and it just got kind of convoluted, and it really opened up a challenging process, for lack of a better word. So we are encouraging the staff over there and working. I just spoke with Lynn Morris again last week. I've also spoke with Jamie Gregg. There's been a lot of people involved in this initiative, which is the way it should be.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay, thank you. Well, again, since this is first reading, I'll open up bill number 3604 to the public for public comments. Is anyone here who will speak for bill number 3604? Okay. If not, anyone here who would speak against bill 3604, please come to the mic. Okay. I am not seeing movement, so I'm going to close it this time to public comments. Any final comments from the board? Okay. Bill number 3604 will be held to a future meeting. Now we're going to move on now to our second readings. The first one is bill number 3594.
Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3594 on its second reading by title only.
Seconded by. Okay. The motion is to place bill number 3594 on second reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf and Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill number 3594, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
An ordinance approving the preliminary plat for Old World Estates and authorizing the Director of Planning and Development to accept the dedication of the public streets and easements to the city as shown on the preliminary plat upon the applicant filing and recording a final plat that substantially conforms to the preliminary plat, and authorizing the city clerk to sign the final plat upon compliance with the terms of this ordinance.
Okay. I know Director Cameron Smith is meeting with us by Zoom. So, sir, what comments do you have for us?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Board of Aldermen. Can you hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, sir.
great. At the last meeting, as you may recall, on this item and the following items for second reading, there was not a lot of discussion or a lot of questions. So tonight, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board has on this item and the remaining items.
Okay. Any questions for Director Smith? Okay. I am not seeing any, so
Yes, Your Honor, I make a motion that we adopt bill number 3594 as ordinance number 24-075.
okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. The motion is that we adopt bill number 3594 to become ordinance 24-075. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf. It was seconded by Alderman Hutchinson. Roll call, please.
Alderman Galloway,
Aye.
Alderman Metcalf,
Aye.
Alderman Aiken is absent, Alderman Hutchinson,
Aye.
Alderman Campbell,
Aye.
Alderman Snyder.
Aye.
We have 5 aye votes, motion carries.
Okay, we'll now move on to our second reading, which is bill number 3595.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3595 on its second reading by title only.
Seconded by,
Second.
okay. The motion is to place bill number 3595 on second reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, seconded by Alderman Snyder. All in favor in the motion to discuss bill number 3595, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
An ordinance amending the corporate boundaries of the city of Ozark, Missouri by annexing 2 parcels of real property located at 5075 North State Highway NN and a 1.7 acre tract of land bordered by North State Highway NN on the east and by 1441 West Lloyd Street on the west.
Okay, well, welcome back, Director Cameron.
Yes, be happy to answer any questions.
Do we have it? I'm not seeing any. Okay, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we adopt bill number 3595 as ordinance number 24-076.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is that we adopt bill number 3595 to become ordinance 24-076. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Snyder. Roll call, please.
Alderman Hutchinson,
Aye.
Alderman Snyder,
Aye.
Alderman Galloway,
Aye.
Alderman Metcalf,
Aye.
Alderman Aiken is absent, Alderman Campbell.
Aye.
We have 5 aye votes, motion carries.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to our next bill, which is bill number 3596.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3596 on its second reading by title only.
And seconded by,
Second.
okay. The motion is to place bill number 3596 on its second reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting to discuss bill number 3596, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
An ordinance amending the zoning code and official map by changing the zoning classification of certain real property located at 5053 North State Highway NN.
Okay, well, welcome back, Director Smith.
Be happy to answer any questions again.
Okay. Alderman Hutchinson, do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, any questions for Director Smith? Thank you, sir. I'm not, what? Oh, you're doing, okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, I make a motion that we adopt bill number 3596 as ordinance number 24-077.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is to adopt bill number 3596 to become ordinance 24-077. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Snyder. Roll call, please.
Alderman Snyder,
Aye.
Alderman Metcalf,
Aye.
Alderman Campbell,
Aye.
Alderman Aiken is absent, Alderman Galloway,
Aye.
Alderman Hutchinson.
Aye.
We have 5 aye votes, motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to bill number 3597.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3597 on its second reading by title only.
Second.
Okay, the motion is to place bill number 3597 on its second reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf. It was seconded by Alderman Snyder. All in favor on the motion to discuss bill 3597, do so by show of hands, and that does carry.
An ordinance amending the zoning code and official map by changing the zoning classification of certain real property bordered by North State Highway NN on the east and by 1441 West Lloyd Street to the west.
And we'll welcome back Director Cameron.
Yes, again, just happy to answer any questions that the board has.
Okay, do we have any questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any.
Okay, Your Honor, I make a motion then that we adopt bill number 3597 as ordinance number 2478.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is that we adopt bill number 3597 to become ordinance 24-078. Motion made by Alderman Metcalf, it was seconded by Alderman Snyder. Roll call, please.
Alderman Campbell,
Aye.
Alderman Galloway,
Aye.
Alderman Hutchinson,
Aye.
Alderman Snyder,
Aye.
Alderman Metcalf,
Aye.
Alderman Aiken is absent. We have 5 aye votes, motion carries.
Thank you. We'll move on to our last bill of the night. That is bill number 3598.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3598 on its second reading by title only.
Seconded by,
Second.
okay. The motion is to place bill number 3598 on a second reading by title only. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf and seconded by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill number 3598, do so by show of hands, and that does carry.
An ordinance amending the zoning code and official map by changing the zoning classification of certain real property located at 5075 North State Highway NN.
Okay. One more time, welcome back Director Cameron. And any questions or any comments from the director?
No comments, but again, happy to answer any questions.
I am not seeing questions. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Okay, Your Honor, I make another motion, this time to adopt bill number 3598 as ordinance number 24-079.
Second by,
Second.
okay, the motion is that we adopt bill number 3598 to become ordinance 24-079. The motion was made by Alderman Metcalf, second by Alderman Snyder. Roll call, please.
Alderman Metcalf,
Aye.
Alderman Aiken is absent, Alderman Campbell,
Aye.
Alderman Snyder,
Aye.
Alderman Hutchinson,
Aye.
Alderman Galloway.
Aye.
We have 5 aye votes, motion carries.
Okay, we'll move on to reports from our city minister, Eric Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor, I just have one item to report tonight, and that is a reminder that next week on Thursday, the 17th, we'll be having a non-legislative work session. So far, we have at least one item on the agenda, and that will be Director Hayden making a 6-month progress report regarding the facility needs assessment at the OC. And so you won't want to miss that.
What day was that again? Sorry.
That's Thursday, the 17th.
Yes, I know the night before. Okay, okay, any comments from the board? Yeah. Okay, yes, sir.
Go Chiefs.
Okay, I have a comment I want to make. Just a second. Okay, as you know, the backyard brawl, we always have a competition between the city of Ozark and Nixa. And one of the aspects is a blood donation drive. Of course, the real winner is always the community and people who are needing the blood. But for the last 4 years, Nixa has been winning this competition with the Community Blood Center Drive. I have to report that this year that, okay, Nixa, they had 33 pints of blood that was donated. Ozark, we had 42. So now the Traven Trophy is here in the mayor's office for the city of Ozark. So after 4 years, it's come back home. So just want, I know it's been recorded and everything, but appreciate very much the people who came out and was able to donate and to give. So just, FYI, because we got the Can the Eagles coming up, and there's a little game coming up on the 18th. Now, because the conference schedule changed, we're going to be at Nixa for that game. Usually we rotate back and forth. That will be on the 18th. So, okay. Now, you all received an email. I'm sorry, your mic is on. Do you have it? Okay.
I've got a question.
Okay, yes, go, sir.
Go ahead when you finish. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, no, we're in board comments right now. So, okay.
I have a question. It's going to be for Director Parsons.
Okay.
I had a question about, actually I have two of them. The street sweeper, I saw a picture of it up there and I've been asked several times, which streets does that thing traverse in the city of Ozark?
So if you go online, we have an interactive map that shows all the different areas that we go along and sweep. I will let you know right now, we're having a problem with the vacuum component of that. I just sent an email this morning asking if that's been repaired. But we have a schedule and a very detailed map that shows those areas that are being swept. You're looking at a time of year right now that we can go through there and it looks like we've done nothing right behind it. But if you want to see those routes, they are available on there.
Okay. Now, are these specific routes or do these go in subdivisions in the individual neighborhoods?
Yes, they go
Because I've
through.
not seen it on my street.
It should, well, maybe you were busy, but it goes on every street.
You have no idea.
Yeah, you were probably in DC or something. But yes, I'll find out the next time it's going to be in your neck of the woods and let you know.
It's not specifically for me, but I've been asked several times.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something we could put out on social media, to get those type of questions answered.
I think we have. Yeah. Oh, we'll have to look back, but that's something we can put out there. Sorry to put you on the spot. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. The other question I have, I know I recently had one of the new water monitoring meters installed in my house, in my neighborhood. Have we had any complaints from where they have been installed citywide about ruptures in pipes, leaks, and things of that nature? I'm really curious about that.
I am not aware of any, but let me talk we've got a meeting first thing in the morning. Let me talk to our water crew. Typically that would bubble up to the top and I would hear about it. I know we had one issue over on April that you and I dealt with. But as far as the conversion, so far so good, but please let me check into that.
Okay, and these are coming online as they're installed, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, with that being said, have there been any complaints of increases or decreases with water usage or rates?
Not to my knowledge at this time, but I will find that out. I will work with Glenn and Tracy just to double check on that. Tracy's still kind of transitioning, but that's another one that I usually hear about it, especially if somebody gets pinged with a higher usage.
Gotcha. And it's a curiosity question. I've been asked several times about it. I don't want to give an answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get them to you.
Okay. I don't know who. Okay, let's go on Hutchinson.
I just wanted to tell Jeremy, the maps, that's my favorite part of the whole website. I love the maps. They can answer so many questions and it's just fun to look at them too. But the wide variety and a lot of detail is really an amazing resource.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, on the Metcalf.
I second the maps. I love the maps too. And while Jeremy's up here, Director Parsons and I visited this afternoon, and I asked him about our water level, and he informed me we're 9 inches still above the yearly total of rain. So even though it's dry and it's going to be dry, we're still good.
We're still okay on the monitoring well. I just checked it after our conversation just to see, and it is taking a nosedive. And then I looked at the drought monitor map, and we are in what you consider a moderate drought right now. So I immediately emailed Maria and Ben and said, probably ought to start pushing out material just to rein it in a little bit, because it's really rapidly falling. So,
yeah. Thank you for that. And I would like to I think I might be on the verge of 20 motions. So if I know that there was an email sent out about postponing a closed session. And
Yes.
so if
So, yeah, you all got the email about the closed session. That won't be happening tonight. So therefore, if no other board comments,
I would like to make a motion that we adjourn.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion made by Alderman Metcalf for adjournment and second by Alderman Galloway. All in favor of voting that we adjourn, do so by show of hands. And it does carry that part. Okay. Thank you all.